From the SNC World Headquarters in New York, I'm Haley Bianco, and here are the stories we're following at this hour. Fire crews have been battling small wildfires across the northeast U.S., including a blaze in New York and New Jersey that killed a parks employee over the weekend and postponed Veterans Day plans. A quarter-inch of rain fell overnight from Sunday into Monday in a forest area straddling the border between the two states, giving a little relief to firefighters. The fire is one of several burning on the East Coast amid a lack of rainfall since September. On the West Coast, larger wildfires are spreading quickly from winds northwest of Los Angeles in Ventura County, California. President-elect Donald Trump is working on filling positions within his upcoming administration. Trump has named longtime advisor Stephen Miller to be the deputy chief of policy in his new administration. He's also chosen Representative Elise Stefanik to serve as his ambassador to the United Nations. When it comes to the border, Trump picked Tom Homan, his former acting Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director, to serve as border czar in his incoming administration. Last week, Trump named Susie Wiles as his White House chief of staff, making her the first woman to hold the role. Trump has also announced that he will not be inviting former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join his cabinet in his second term. The Russian Kremlin has denied reports that U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has spoken with Vladimir Putin in recent days. It follows Trump's sweeping election victory and his comments on the campaign trail that he could end the war in a matter of days. Mitch McCann reports.
The Washington Post reported on Sunday local time that Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin had spoken during the week, where Mr. Trump advised him not to escalate the war in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the story was, quote, completely untrue. He told a Russian news agency, "This is pure fiction. This is simply false information." President Putin had congratulated Donald Trump and said he showed courage during the assassination attempt on his life earlier this year. The Kremlin says there are no concrete plans for the leaders to speak yet. In New York, Mitch McCann for Salem News Channel.
A shooting on Sunday left one man dead and injured at least 16 other people at Tuskegee University in Alabama. Many of the injured were students. Authorities say 25-year-old Jaquez Myrick of Montgomery has been arrested. Officials say he had a handgun with a machine gun conversion device. President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to impose import tariffs of up to 60% on Chinese goods. Laura Westbrook joins us with reactions in Hong Kong.
The Wall Street Journal says Beijing is considering plans like tariff cuts and visa exemptions. That's to boost trade with Europe and Asia in order to try to offset some of the pain to China's economy from the proposed increase in tariffs by the incoming Trump administration. But U.S. allies like Japan, South Korea and the Philippines are increasingly wary of a more assertive China, while Europe could be reluctant to grant China more access to its market. Still, Beijing is hoping to capitalize on fear in Europe and Asia that Trump could revive his hostile rhetoric towards U.S. allies, and that could provide China an opportunity to rebuild relations.
In an appearance on Fox and Friends Weekend, Lindy Lee with the Democratic National Committee called Vice President Harris's bid for the White House a $1 billion disaster, saying the Harris campaign is $18 to $20 million in debt following her loss in last week's election. Now let's check out today's closing bell numbers. President Biden will host President-elect Trump at the White House on Wednesday. The post-election meeting in the Oval Office is customary between outgoing and incoming presidents. However, Donald Trump did not extend the invitation to Joe Biden 4 years ago. Trump also refused to attend the Biden inauguration. Last week, the president said his administration would work with Trump's team to ensure an orderly transition, and he promised a peaceful transfer of power. Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris appeared together for the first time since she lost last week's presidential election to Republican Donald Trump. Earlier today, Biden and Harris participated in the annual Veterans Day observance at Arlington National Cemetery. They laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, and Biden was among officials delivering remarks at the amphitheater. Across the nation, Americans gather to observe the holiday and honor our nation's heroes on Veterans Day with parades and ceremonies. And that's what you need to know at this hour. In New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel.